Good morning, it's January 17th, and today we're going to go on the Longbow dashboard right away and look at a few different ETFs that you might be thinking about in terms of where things are headed. So the first one we're going to look at, I'm going to reorder these for a second here, is the SPY, so the S&P 500. Then I've got EFA, that's EFA, so that is developed ex-US. And then I've got an ex-Canada as well. And then the FXI, which is China. And I'm keeping it on the KISS view. You guys may or may not know about it, but the KISS view just gives you all the summaries and a few different highlights that you might not see on the detailed view. So I wanted to start there. It's something that I'd be looking at. You're coming back from a long weekend. Maybe you're enjoying yourself and not taking a look at what happened internationally, but you know it's been a pretty strong start to the year. So how do we put that in context? Well, for the SPY, I can quickly see here that the white bar is in between the green and the red on the trading range. So it's in the middle of its trading range. So we've got a neutral signal. I can see that it's short-term bullish momentum. So that's positive if you're looking to go long or stay long, and medium-term bullish momentum. So again, positive if you're looking to go long or stay long. There's no core signal flashing right now, but you're getting a pretty strong signal on that. So you can be holding. And then something interesting here, while it's asymmetry bearish, and we can talk about that another time, the thing that I wanted to point out here is the low end and the high end of the trading range. What am I looking at? Well, on the SPY, it's going higher. So that it means the low end of the trading range is getting more bullish. The high end is moving up as well. That's pretty bullish in terms of direction, right? So even though it's right now neutral in terms of it's not at a big implied volatility premium or discount, I like that setup. I'm going to contrast that to EFA, which again is in between its range, but closer to the top end of its trading range. Again, bullish short term, bullish medium term, strong signal strength of neutral here. So you might say, hey, I could sit with that. But what do I see is that the low end of the trading range is getting lower. So that means there's like developing more downside, although the high end's getting higher, so that range is blowing out. And we'll take a look at what that looks like visually in a second relative to the SPY. And we're at an implied volatility kind of neutral area. And that, again, now compares to China, the FXI large cap ETF, middle of its range, so similar to the S&P 500, bullish short-term, bullish medium-term momentum, that neutral core signal. But what I can see here is the low end of the trading range is actually getting higher, but the high end is getting lower. So we have a compressing range, and we'll see that. I'm going to take a look and show you that. And that's something that I like to look at because it gives you maybe more confidence or less confidence in an action, some kind of trade that you might be doing. So I'm going to actually start with the SPY here. I'm going to pull that up because we talked about that first. And what you can see is the high end of that trading range is moving up. And so even though the security price of that ETF has moved up, so has the top end of the range, and the bottom range is pulling up. And so visually, let's contrast that now. We're going to pull that up to the EFA. And while the high end is getting higher, remember we talked about that, and the security price is going up, the low end actually has started to get lower. So that's not a very confident signal if we're thinking about sticking long in the Eurozone or developed markets for the EFA ETF. So keep that in mind if you are long. And then let's look at China. Obviously, everyone's talking about China right now. Hopefully you made your bets months ago and you're not just starting to make your bets. We wrote in the note section this morning that a lot of retail long onlys piling in here in China here in the new year. Obviously, there's a lot of things going right in terms of GDP, accelerated more than people thought. They had a strong to the year in the fourth quarter, as well as they're looking to ease certain financial conditions and support growth. So here, remember we talked about here, there's a narrowing range. So the top end is getting a little bit lower, the high end is coming up. So we're seeing a narrowing range. We're gonna have to wait and see what does that look like. I'd be interested in the next few weeks. Again, there's a lot of policy things going on, but that is not the best signal from a trading range to get confident that there's like another breakout to the upside versus the SPY, which has been interesting because most people are worried about the US market, which had really outperformed until, call it October, November. having, in some ways, a better technical setup visually that we can see on that. So I just wanted to start you off fresh in this short week, taking a look at 3 major ETFs and how you should think about some of the trading signals if you're looking to be entering, holding, exiting the market. Those are some signals that I would look at in addition to my fundamental work and my macro work. Have a good day, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.